Hello, and thank you for tuning in once again. Happy Friday, Soul Tribe Collective. We are going to move on to the next section, or sharing, I should say, not section, sharing of our newest series, the Second Book of Enoch, which is the Secrets of Enoch. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Again, I hope you're doing well today. Those men bore me away to the east, and again, this is Enoch's journey of esoteric travel. Those men bore me away to the east and placed me at the sun's gate, where the sun goes forth according to the regulation of the seasons and the circuit of the months of the whole year, and the number of the hours, day and night. And I saw 6 gates open, each gate having 61 stadia and a quarter and 1 stadium. And I measured truly and understood their size, so much through which the sun goes forth and goes to the west, and is made even and rises through all the months, and turns back again from the 6 gates according to the succession of the seasons. Thus, of the whole year is finished after the returns of the 4 seasons. And so again, we know that we have 4 main seasons: spring, autumn, summer, fall. Okay? Those are the 4 main seasons that we have today. The sun is at different points. This portal, the sun portal, is at different points for each of those seasons. That's why those seasons exist. Okay? Because of the sun's orbital relation in regards to Earth. Okay? Obviously, summer, the sun is closest to the Earth. That's why generally, for the northern hemisphere, it's the hottest. Okay? And for those who are south of the equator, it's the exact opposite. So during this time of the year, Brazil is experiencing winter, I believe. Yeah, let's confirm that. Alexa, when is the winter in Brazil?
In Brazil, winter began on Thursday, June 20th and ends on Sunday, September 22nd.
So there you go. Okay? North of the equator, you experience summer, when the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter. Okay? And again, those men led me away to the western parts and showed me 6 great gates, open corresponding to eastern gates, opposite to where the sun sets, according to the number of the days, 365 and a quarter. So that's where 365 comes from. Thus, again, it goes down to the western gates, draws away its light, the greatness of its brightness under the earth, for since the crown of its shining is in heaven with the Lord, and guarded by the 400 angels, while the sun goes around on a wheel underneath the earth, and stands 7 great hours and night, and spends half under the earth. When it comes to the eastern approach, in the 8th hour of the night, it brings its lights, and the crown of shining, and the sun flames forth more than fire. Then the elements of the sun, called phoenixes and Chalkidry, breaks into song, Therefore every bird flutters with its wings, rejoicing at the giver of light, and they break into song at the command of the Lord. The giver of light the giver of light comes to give brightness to the whole world, and the morning guard takes shape, which is the ray of the sun, and the sun of the earth goes out and receives the brightness to light up the whole face of the earth. And they showed me the calculation of the sun's going, and the gates with which it enters. These are the great gates of the calculation of the hours of the year. For this reason the sun is a great creation, whose circuit 28 years, and begins again from the beginning. So there's something about 28 years here. That number has been coming up frequently. Excuse me, confirmation yawn, as it's 6:06 on the timer. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10:54 a.m.
Okay. Check the sun's going. And the gates which it enters, there are great gates of calculations of hours of the year. Okay, I read that. For this reason the sun is a great creation, whose circuit lasts 28 years and begins again from the beginning. Those men showed me the other course, that of the moon, 12 great gates, crowned from the west and to the east, by which the moon goes in and out of the customary times. And so last night I went for a walk, and I really wanted to stay outside. I really wanted to just sit outside. It was still fairly hot when I went out. It was probably, again, yesterday was 104 or 5 degrees in southern Arizona. So at 7 o'clock, it was probably still 95, 98 degrees outside. Okay? But I needed to get out. I needed to go outside. And the moon had to be 3/4 moon. Yeah. Alexa, when is the next full moon?
The next full moon will be next Monday, August 19th at 11:26 a.m.
Alexa, what was the moon yesterday?
This past Tuesday through next Monday, August 19th, is a waxing gibbous moon.
Okay. So, the waxing gibbous moon. But the moon was so bright, and I really just wanted to sit down. I did sit down for a moment and just look up at the moon and just think and just ponder and just consider and receive and give that portal, okay, to that portal, and receive from that portal. Okay. It goes in at the first gate to the western places of the sun by the first gates, 31 days exactly. By the second gates, with 31 days exactly. By the third, and 30 days exactly. Okay, so it alternates 30, 31, 30, 31. By the fourth, with 30 days exactly. By the fifth, with 31 days. By the sixth, with 31 days exactly. By the seventh, with 30 days exactly. By the eighth, with 31 days perfectly. By the ninth, with 31 days exactly. By the 10th, with 30 days perfectly. By the 11th, with 31 days exactly. By the 12th, with by the 12th actually, with 28 days exactly. Okay, so again, the first month of the year is actually March and not January. And this confirms this. Okay? I don't even know when I received that esoteric download. It was before Ascensions or anything. Yeah, I mean, I've known that for I don't even know how long. okay, about March being the first month of the year and not January. But this confirms this based on Enoch's journey through these portals and the downloads that he was getting from these angels and ancestors that were sharing this information with him. It says by the 12th with 28 days. So the last month of the year actually has 28 days. What month of the year has 28 days? February, the last month of the actual year. Again, why did it get changed and adjusted 2 months back? I don't know. And it goes through the western gates in the old order and number of the eastern and accomplishes the 365 and a quarter days of the solar year, while the lunar year has 354, and that's interesting. And there are wanting 12 days of the solar circle, which are the lunar epochs of the whole year. Okay, so there's something about 12 days related to the solar circle, which is the reason why the lunar year is calculated as 354 instead of 364. Or perhaps 366 when you count the leap year, I guess. Okay. Thus, too, the great circle contains 552 days. Or excuse me, 532. I don't know why I said 52. 532 days. The quarter of a day is omitted for 3 years. The fourth fulfills it exactly. Therefore, there's a lot to learn here. Therefore, they are taken outside of heaven for 3 years and are not added to the number of days, because they change the time of the years to 2 new months towards completion, to 2 other towards diminution. Alexa, what does diminution mean?
Diminution is usually defined as the act, fact, or process of diminishing, lessening, reduction. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for diminution.
Alexa, give me more definitions for diminution.
I have one more definition for the noun, diminution, the repetition or imitation of a subject or theme in notes of shorter duration than those first used.
Okay. And when let's go back here. Because they changed the time of the years to 2 new months towards completion, 2 to others towards diminution or decreasing. And when the western gates are finished, it returns and goes to the eastern to the lights, and goes thus day and night about the heavenly circles, lower than all the circles, swifter than the heavenly winds and spirits and elements and angels flying. Each angel has 6 wings. It has 7-fold course in 19 years. In the midst of the heaven, I saw armed soldiers serving the Lord with tympana and organs, with incessant voice, with sweet voice, and with sweet and incessant and various singing, which is impossible to describe, and which astonishes every mind So wonderful and marvelous is the singing of those angels, and I was delighted listening to it. The man took me on the fifth heaven and placed me, and there I saw many and countless soldiers called Grigori, and of human appearance, and their size greater than that of great giants, and their faces withered, and the silence of their mouths perpetual, and there was no service on the fifth heaven. And I said to the men who were with me, wherefore are those withered, and their faces melancholy, and their mouths silent, and wherefore is there no service on this heaven? And they said to me, these are the Grigori, who with their prince Satan, Sataniel, rejected the Lord of light, and after them are those who have held great darkness on the second heaven, and three of them went down onto the earth from the Lord's throne. So there were three that were kicked out to the place of Hermon, and broke through their vows on the shoulder of the hill Hermon, and saw the daughters of men, how good they are, and took themselves wives. So we are talking about, again, fallen Nephilim and Anunnaki here. These were the withered faces that Enoch was seeing. Okay? This is what he was seeing, witnessing. Okay? And so they came to earth, took themselves wives, and befouled the earth with their deeds, who in all times of their age made lawlessness and mixing, and giants are born, and marvelous big men, and great enmity. And therefore God judged with them with great judgment, and they wept or weep for their brethren, and they will be punished of the Lord's great day, on the Lord's great day. And I said to the Grigori, I saw your brethren and their works and their great torments, and I prayed for them, but the Lord has condemned them under the earth until the existing heaven and earth shall end forever. And that's the great tribulation, and it's Armageddon, okay, before the new heaven and the new earth appears, or is back again. And I said, wherefore do you wait, brethren, and do not serve before the Lord's face, and have not put your services before the Lord's face, lest you anger your Lord utterly? That's actually a question mark. And they listened to my admonition and spoke to the four ranks in heaven. And lo, as I stood with those two men, four trumpets trumpeted together with great voice, and the Grigori broke into song with one voice, and their voice went up before the Lord pitifully and affectionately. And pitifully doesn't mean like sadly, okay? That means graciously. That means with great admonition. That means with adornment. Okay? Adoration. And thence those men took me and bore me up onto the sixth heaven, and there I saw 7 bands of angels, very bright and very glorious, and their faces shining more than the sun's shining, glistening, and there is no difference in their faces or behavior or manner of dress. And these make the orders and learn the goings of the stars and the alteration of the moon or revolution of the sun, and the good government of the world. And when they see evil doing, they make commandments and instruction, and sweet and loud singing, and all songs of praise. These are the archangels who are above angels, measure all life in heaven and on earth, and the angels who are appointed over the seasons and years, the angels who are over rivers and seas, and who are over the fruits of the earth, and the angels who are over every grass, giving food to all, to every living thing, and the angels who write all the souls, write, W-R-I-T-E, write all the souls of men and all their deeds and their lives before the Lord's face. In their midst are 6 phoenixes and 6 cherubim and 6 six-winged ones, continually with one voice, singing one voice, and it is not possible to describe their singing, and they rejoice before the Lord at his footstool. And those 2 men lifted me up thence on the 7th heaven, and I saw there a very great light, and fiery troops of great angels, incorporeal forces, and dominions, orders, and governments, cherubim and seraphim, thrones and many-eyed ones, so beings with many eyes, 9 regiments, and lonet stations of light. And I became afraid, and began to tremble with great terror. And those men took me and led me after them, and said to me, Have courage, Enoch, do not fear, and showed me the Lord from afar, sitting on his very high throne. For what is there on the 10th heaven, since the Lord dwelleth there? Okay, so what's Enoch is asking, so what's beyond this, because the Lord sits on the 7th throne. So what is beyond? What is beyond? I'm getting chills. What is beyond the 7th heaven? Thank you, highest divine white light. On the 10th heaven is God. In the Hebrew tongue, he is called Aravat. A-R-A-V-A-T. Aravat. And all the heavenly troops would come and stand on the 10 steps according to their rank, and would bow down to the Lord, and would again go to their places to joy and felicity, singing songs in the boundless light with, sorry, my eyes are watering now after I got those chills and all of that. In the boundless light with small and tender voices, gloriously serving him. And the cherubim and seraphim standing about the throne, the 6-winged and many-eyed ones, do not depart, standing before the Lord's face, confirmation, doing his will, and cover his whole throne, singing with gentle voice before the Lord's face, holy, 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 Lord ruler, holy, 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 Lord ruler of, let me wipe my eyes, Lord ruler of Sabbath. Heavens and earth are fully of your glory. When I saw all these things, those men said to me, Enoch, thus far is it commanded us to journey with you. And those men went away from me, and thereupon I saw them not. And I remained alone at the end of the 7th heaven, and became afraid, and fell on my face, and said to myself, Woe is me, what has befallen me? And the Lord sent one of his glorious ones, the Archangel Gabriel. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel, for all that you do for the collective today. Archangel Gabriel, thank you for... The Archangel Gabriel, and he said to me, have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise before the Lord's face into eternity. Arise, come with me. And I answered him and said in myself, my Lord, my soul is departed from me, from terror and trembling. And I called to the men who led me up to this place. On them I relied, and it is with them I go before the Lord's face. And Gabriel caught me up as a leaf caught up by the wind, and placed me upon the Lord's face, or before the Lord's face. And I saw the eighth heaven, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Mazulath, changer of the seasons, of the drought and of the wet, and of the 12 constellations. Alexa, what are the 12 constellations?
From Wikipedia.org. The zodiac is a group of 12 constellations: Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpius, Sagittarius, Capricornus, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer.
Okay. And of the 12 constellations of the circle of the firmament. Again, every constellation, every zodiac sign, I've mentioned this many times before. It's been a while, I guess, since I've said it. But every constellation or zodiac sign is in the stars. You can see the Sagittarian sign, zodiac sign, amongst the stars. You can see the Capricornus sign amongst the stars. You can see the Virgo sign amongst the stars. It's all in the stars. You can see it in the in that dimension. From Earth, 27:33 on the timer. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 11:15 a.m.
Okay. Maybe we need to look at that angel number, 11:15. Alexa, what does the angel number 11:15 mean?
From sacredscribesangelnumbers.blogspot.com. Angel number 1151 is a message from the angels that your ideas, thoughts, and intentions are manifesting very rapidly right now, and this will bring about beneficial and important life changes.
Okay. Keep manifesting, Soul Tribe Collective. Firmament which are above the seventh heaven. Okay, the constellations. And I saw the ninth heaven, which is in Hebrew Kuchavim, where are the heavenly homes of the 12 constellations of the circle of the firmament. And we are in chapter 22 now. Might be something about 22. And on the 10th heaven, which is called Erevath, I saw the appearance of the Lord's face, like iron made to glow in fire, and brought out, emitting sparks, and it burns. Thus, in a moment of eternity, I saw the Lord's face, but the Lord's face is ineffable, marvelous, and very awful, and very, very terrible, which just means very great and hard to look upon. And who am I to tell the Lord's unspeakable being, and of this very wonderful face, and I cannot tell the quantity of his many instructions and various voices. The Lord's throne is very great and not made with hands, nor the quantity of those standing round him, troops of cherubim and seraphim, nor their incessant singing, nor his immutable beauty, and who shall tell of the ineffable greatness of his glory. And we'll finish up the 22nd verse or chapter, and we'll stop there for today. And I fell prone and bowed down to the Lord, and the Lord with his lips said to me, I have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise and stand before my face in eternity. And the archangel, it says G something Michael, that's Archangel Michael, lifted me up and led me to before the Lord's face. And the Lord said to the servants tempting them, let Enoch stand before my face in eternity. And glorious ones bowed down to the Lord and said, let Enoch go according to your word. And the Lord said to Michael, go and take Enoch from out of his earthly garments and anoint him with my sweet ointment and put him into the garments of my glory. And Michael did thus as the Lord told him. He anointed me and dressed me, and the appearance of that ointment is more than the great light, and his ointment is like sweet dew, and its smell mild, shining like the sun's rays. And I looked at myself, and I was like transfigured, one of his glorious ones. And the Lord summoned one of his archangels named Previel, whose knowledge was quicker in wisdom than the other archangels, who wrote all of the deeds of the Lord. And the Lord said to Previel, bring out the books from my storehouses, and a reed of quick writing, and give it to Enoch, and deliver to him the choice and comforting books of your hand. So these were sacred scrolls, books, texts, Akashic records that were given to Enoch. Okay? So thank you so much. This is, again, it was just 33 minutes, okay? So thank you, Highest Divine White Light, for, first of all, giving these canonical texts and writings to Enoch. And then the rediscovering of them today and prior to today. May the work of the rediscovery and the work of the archaeological discoveries, may they continue to be led esoterically and divinely by your hand, by your light, by your stars, by your sun, by your moon, that you have set in place. Thank you so much for listening, Soul Tribe Collective. My name is Nehru. This is Esoteric Guidance, helping us all become our highest, purest, truest version of ourselves by journeying through those things that have already been written. That man, in its karmacy, has tried to hide and keep hidden from us. Okay? As always, be encouraged.